What's crack-lacking? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So we're going over the offensive line today, my rankings. We're going to do tackles and interior. But before that, go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. That's always much appreciated, much obliged. And plenty of content on the channel with the rankings. I got team individual mock drafts. I'm working on my 7-round mock draft and all that good stuff. Gonna have a watch party for the NFL draft here on YouTube. So come, chill, talk, relax, enjoy, I guess. But without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's get in. I'm giving you 15 for each position. So 15 tackles, 15 interior. Typically a little over 20 are taken from each position. At least that's the average for the last 5 years. So let's kind of bang these suckers out. We're going to start with tackles. We're gonna go with Prince Tango Wannagoho, F15 out of Auburn, and he's what I thought. I thought we were gonna be talking about him in the first round mix, kind of like what we're talking about with Mekhi Becton. I mean, the dude's massive. His athleticism really jumps off the film at you, but he's still raw in his own right. I mean, just the way he moves his feet, how he uses his hands. He's just very raw. And I got him as a 5th rounder. He could sneak into the 3rd round just because of the physical upside, the physical tools. And then Trey Adams here at 14. We know the medical red flags concerning the knee and the back. Big red flag right there. But he also has the struggle with the upper echelon of pass rushers like Chase Young, Bradley Anae. I mean, he at the beginning of the year, he was assumed to be a 1st round pick based on he's huge and he's surprisingly agile for his size. However, you look at the combine and that didn't really show up. Still on tape, he does display a bit of athleticism, a little bit of flexibility. And like I said, the guy's large, he's powerful. That's going to get him drafted early day 3. Tyree Phillips out of Mississippi State. He's a mountain of a man. He has been steadily getting better and better dating back to his junior college days, and like I said, he's still steadily developing, but he still has a long way to go. He's not exactly agile. Doesn't got great mobility, so I could see him maybe moving to guard. Isaiah Wilson out of Georgia. I really wish he stayed for one more year there at Georgia, but I mean, I don't know if it would have helped him out too much, because it's not like Georgia has they're very simplistic. They're very run heavy. It wouldn't really do much for him on tape, but just another year of physical development for him would have been nice. And I think we could be talking about this guy 1st round. Instead, we're talking about him day 2. There's still a lot sloppy about his game. So I mean, going back would have helped with that. But again, the physical tools, the agility for his size, the guy's got He's very strong at the point of attack, especially if he can get there quick. So ideally, a team that likes to really heavily use play action, so like the Packers or the Seahawks, I think would be the best fit for him. Jack Driscoll, one of my favorite prospects in this draft. From what I read, many scouts, or at least scouting reports at the Shrine game, there was little to almost no buzz about Driscoll. He didn't really wow anybody with his strength or his athleticism. He just really simply got the job done. That was about all I read from the Shrine practices and the Shrine game. I still think he's very athletic. I mean, and he's very technically sound dating back to his days at UMass. And I think he'll be a steal somewhere on day 2. And then top 10, Lucas Naeem out of TCU. Probably might go higher than a few of these other tackles, because he's not the most refined pass blocker, but he's still very successful at it because of his athletic upside, his physical upside. I mean, part of that could be that famous 3-man front you often see in the Big 12, but still, the guy is athletic and he wins despite not having the best footwork, the best use of his hands. And you gotta like that, just like really all Horned Frog prospects. They're just extremely athletic, just raw. And He did suffer an injury early this season, so that might hurt his stock a little bit. Ben Barch out of St. John's. Didn't really know about this guy till the Senior Bowl. He put on a great showcase of agility, use of his hands, so he's very technically sound. Really put his name on the map. Still a bit raw, lacks a little bit of strength. He projects more as a developmental left tackle, specifically left tackle, just because he has no experience playing any other position. Matt Pert is a name that's flying up boards. I'm telling you, I like him. I think the minute that people heard Bill Belichick had his eyes on him, that people took notice. But he looked stronger in 2019 compared to 2018, because it's not like he's not weak. He just doesn't play with strength, if that makes sense. Still, hands kind of remain a little bit of an issue, so that might kind of dip into his why he doesn't look as strong on tape as he is. But again, still looked good at the Senior Bowl. Still good mobility. He's going to be a steal. Might not be, actually, because I've seen some people put him in the first round. Oh, he might not be. Austin Jackson here at number 7. Jackson, he doesn't have a kill switch. It's kind of soft, but he's 10 ply. If you know what that's from, let me know. But he's also he's very athletic. Kind of makes up for it there. That's why people are loving him. That's why he's being talked about as maybe as early as a pick 20. Maybe even earlier. People really love that athleticism, because even when he loses step or if he's just flat out beat, he has really, really good recovery. Zone blocking schemes will probably be ideal for him. Those teams will probably have him very high on their board. So I won't be surprised if he does find himself somewhere in the mid to late first round. The guy's still 21, so he's still growing. He's still a growing boy. And then Ezra Cleveland here at 6 is my last, and then we get into the first rounders. But he's been consistently great for Boise State all 3 years as a starter. He won't wow anybody with any part of his game in particular. He's just a safe bet and should be a solid tackle in the NFL. Very quick feet, very technically sound. On to the top 5. Mekhi Becton. I mean, he's kind of has a wonky history at Louisville. He flipped between right and left tackle within seasons. So they were flipping him positions sometimes play to play, which is kind of ludicrous. And that was just kind of how the former coach deployed his offense. And he looked much better this year, strictly being a left tackle, but he's still very much raw. He still doesn't have too many true pass sets compared to some of the other prospects in this draft. Now, true pass sets, those are basically confirm passing downs, passing plays, so no screens, no run plays, no read options, nothing like that. And why these are so important, because they typically translate to success sooner in the NFL. So that's why those are so important, and that's why I still kind of consider him a developmental prospect, because we haven't seen too many of those. I still think he's a bit raw. People like to throw out, but I mean, for his size, he's so athletic. Yet the only thing he did at the combine was the 40, and he ran it fast by no means. But I'm saying he didn't really participate in any of the other drills. Again, it's still impressive for his size, but I still think he's a bit of a developmental prospect. Josh Jones, one of my favorite prospects in this draft, came into the Senior Bowl. I was high on him before the Senior Bowl, and then everyone else hopped on, which is not true. There were some people out there that were like, I got this John Jones guy. But Josh Jones, I keep saying John Jones like he's a UFC fighter, but he doesn't have the character red flags. Shots fired. But I thought he'd be a bit raw from a technique standpoint, just coming from Houston. You kind of saw that with Ed Oliver, so you don't think they really focus too much on, I don't want to say fundamentals, but like technique specific stuff like footwork and hand placement. But no, he looked good. He probably has the best hands among all the tackles, at least the ones there at the Senior Bowl. And he does have a very impressive game against Oklahoma from last year. So I like Josh Jones. Tristan Wirfs here at number 3, extremely strong. He's very patient at processing would-be rushers. He's tough to beat. He's tough to get around, but he does have a noticeable struggle against speed rushers. Good thing for him, he blew up the combine. He shows that he has the athleticism, he has the agility, the explosion to actually be, taught to keep up with those type of pass rushers. So should be a top 10 pick. Jedrick Wills, I can see Wills he could be honestly the first tackle taken. Honestly, he could probably be the 5th. It's kind of a crazy draft when it comes to the tackle class. We talk about Thomas's athleticism. We talk about Wirf's athleticism. And I think Wills is a little bit more athletic in that aspect because the guy's still young. He's still learning the position. Last year was his first, I believe it was his first taste of being a starter, at least for the season. There at the right tackle. And dude, he shut down LSU and he only allowed 1 pressure over the final 7 games. Then Andrew Thomas, man, for me, he's my easy number 1. I think he's the safest bet to be a solid left tackle in the NFL. He's got great physical tools. He played well as a freshman on the right side and has been stellar on the left side since. The guy's just a great prospect. Let's go ahead. Let's dip into the offensive interior, and we're going to start with my boy Shane Lemieux out of Oregon. Here we go. Now, most notably, he's very flexible. It's very flexible. It's not like he's not like extremely athletic, but just the way he moves. I don't know. It's kind of tough to explain, but he's got raw strength, super powerful, high football IQ. Still wish he was a bit more aggressive with his hands. Again, he still should be a solid prospect. Ben Breedson, out of Michigan's guy, been hated on all season. He looked decent enough at the Senior Bowl, but I think he looks like a spinning top. Like, he's got terrible balance. Like, he looks like the spinning top at the end, when he engages and blocks. It's a little worrisome for me, but I mean, he's accumulated a vast amount of experience there in Michigan. He's pretty technically sound, so it's like what you're getting. Like, he's probably got among the safest floors. He's got a high, I don't even want to say a high floor. He's got a decent floor. Like, he will be an average starter in the NFL. I can almost bet on it. Kind of like a Stefan Wisniewski, which is still pretty solid. Nick Harris out of Washington got bodied at the Senior Bowl. Bullied. Oh, it was bad. Strength really though isn't his selling point. It's his agility, his athleticism. So you kind of look at those one-on-ones at the Senior Bowl and you're like, okay, well, they don't really play to his strength. Now, he did put on some weight before the combine, so now he's above 300 pounds. Could probably sneak into the 3rd round. And then I got Danny Pittner out of Ball State. Very interesting prospect. Didn't know too much about him until the combine. Then people started talking about him a lot. So I did my due diligence, started investigating. He's very agile. It's going to be like a zone blocking type of guy, or maybe even a swing tackle. But he's not strong. He lacks a lot of strength. Like I said, in a zone scheme, you can kind of hide that in your game for the most part. At 11, I got Calvin Throckmorton. I like him a lot. I'm still high on him. He's still high on my list. I mean, I got him as high as a 4th rounder. The guy, he plays with great leverage. He stays engaged with his blocks. Really, this whole offseason process has been sucky for him. Like, he should have never went to the Senior Bowl. He was a late invite, and they forced him to play left tackle, the one position he never played on the offensive line. Guess what? He did poorly, but then he didn't look that athletic at the combine. So, I mean, he's probably more early day 3. I'd still be willing to, like, jump on him, like, late round 3, maybe even mid round 3, but probably early day 3 at this point. Then, onto the top 10, I got Lloyd Cushenberry III out of LSU. I mean, as for all LSU players, they're oxes, they're strong, they're mountains of men. Sounds kind of weird, but he why I put him down, I feel like much lower than a lot of other people, is he's just very weak against quicker tackles, quicker players on the inside, and in a NFL that's kind of favoring more athletes, more of those quicker players on the defensive front. That's kind of worrisome to me, but he did look very good at the Senior Bowl. And I mean, honestly, if you stick to center, you can kind of get by with subpar pass blocking, and the center position's been very weak in the NFL, at least it was this year. So I could see a few teams jumping on him in maybe the third round. And then I got Michael Onwenu out of Michigan, one of my favorite prospects. He's very underrated as an athlete. He's very quick, almost unmovable with his size. Dude, he just made D tackles look like fools during the Shrine Week. I love me some Onwenu. And then Matt Hennessy out of Temple, very improved as a run defender this season. Not strong, but he's not weak by any means. He's a classic like lunch pail type of guy, goes to work, does his job, then he goes home, kisses his wife, I assume. Ideal for maybe an outside blocking zone. Still, again, those weaker guys, you kind of want to protect them in zone blocking schemes. As long as they're, weaker, but extremely athletic. Lone Steenberg out of Kentucky. I always want to say Sternberger. I don't know why. But he was known to be a mauler. I did include him early when I was starting to do these rankings, like probably a year ago from today. I didn't really include him in much of my preseason rankings just because I thought he was just a run defender only. But man, the guy was very good as a pass blocker in 2019. Strong hands, and his play style kind of reminds me of Richie Incognito. I like it. Robert Hunt out of Louisiana. Hunt, he has great size, great power. He kind of plays himself. He played tackle at Louisiana, and he kind of played himself out of position sometimes, more times than not. Not kind of like, I don't think it was an IQ thing. I just don't think the mobility is there, which is, I think, it'll help him a ton moving to guard. And then Tyler Biotish coming here, starting the top 5 out of Wisconsin. Biotish extremely experienced, but had a down year by his standards in 2019. Feels like he kind of got in the mix, or kind of fell out of the mix, got lost in the mix because of a lot of these fast rising prospects like Jonah Jackson, Damian Lewis, Robert Hunt. So I feel like he kind of got lost. Dude, Cesar Reyes. And I feel like he just kind of got lost in the mix there. He's still a very good prospect. He's still a very good run blocker. And really the pass protection concerns weren't a thing until they popped up this season. So could have just been a fluke. Damian Lewis here at number 4. What did I say about LSU? They're strong as oxes. They're mountains of men, whatever that means. But the guy, he's up there with Nate Moody as probably the strongest in this interior class. He had a big Senior Bowl week. Now probably in that day 2 mix, at least is for me. His size and his play style kind of begs to be in a power run scheme. So he's kind of one of my favorites to go to like the Ravens. And then Jonah Jackson out of Ohio State. Now, over the course of 2 seasons at Rutgers and the 1 season at Ohio State, he allowed 1 sack, and that was over 458 pass blocking snaps. And I feel like he came in, and it's like I knew about him. I knew he was very good, but I always kept him in that like mid to late day 3 area, and he just was phenomenal at the Senior Bowl. I was like, oh yeah, that's right, he's good. Let's rank him appropriately. Then Cesar Ruiz. Don't know why I struggle so hard saying that last name. I never say it with confidence, but he's only 20 years old, still plenty of room to develop. Very agile. Many teams will probably fall in love with that, especially in a zone scheme. It's kind of the theme of the video, athleticism, zone scheme. It just makes sense. Still needs to add strength to his game, but like I said, he's young, he's 20. Nate Moody at number 1 for me. Yes, there are concerns with Moody and his injury history. It's not his ability, though. He looks phenomenal. He is a monster. He is a mammoth on the offensive line. But the good thing is the injury concerns, they're not, I think it was an ankle and then it was a shoulder. If I'm not, I think I got those right. I'm not positive, but they don't correlate in any way. That's the important thing. So it's not like there's going to be a pre-existing condition or another condition pop up because of that. Kind of like you would have with like the knee and the back. So the things that are supported. So that's very good. I'd be willing to spend a first rounder on, well, late first rounder at this point on Moody, but dude is just that good. But that's it for the video. Go ahead and do the YouTube thing. It's always much appreciated. Much obliged. Thanks for hanging out. Offensive line, it's just not one of my strong suits. It's a position I'm still kind of learning to like look at and evaluate. So let me know what you think in the comment section below and who you think probably should have been on this list. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.